Hey guys, it's Sam with Ready Set Go. Welcome to the video. Pleasure to have you guys aboard today. You know, today's video is pretty important to me, and I'm super excited to share this with you guys. I've been at this internet marketing thing for about 2 to 3 years, and I've seen a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and I want to share with you guys kind of some of the things I learned along the way, especially for those of you that are new to making money online. Kind of want to give you an idea of what is possible. I'm going to talk through about 5 different methods of making money, the strengths and weaknesses of each, what type of skill sets you can expect or you'll need to learn for each method, and the amount of money and the profitability of each one. So, we're going to cover all of that in this video, and hopefully it gives you guys a sense of what direction to take with developing passive income streams and developing web properties and making money without actually working every single hour of the day. So that's the topic of this video, and we're going to dive right into that. But just a quick note before we get started. If you guys do end up enjoying the video or you find it useful, I really appreciate it if you could give it a like or subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of these type of videos, and I try to share as much of what I've learned over the years with you guys. So just really love to see that feedback and that engagement from you guys. All right, let's get started then. All right, so method number 2 for making money online: write ebooks. And I actually really like this method for making money online because it actually was something that I only got into about 3 months ago, but I'm actually got a pretty good ROI off of this. I've made some pretty decent money on writing ebooks, and the other thing is it's super simple. Anybody that is just learning and just figuring out how to get into this, it's a very low barrier to entry. So, that's always a good thing when it comes to, finding ways to invest your time and also get the money trickling in so you can start experimenting with different types of methods. So let's just go through this real quick, and it's not a super complicated process. It's pretty much 3 steps like I have on here. You pretty much spend some time researching a topic. You got to do some keyword research. You got to find some niches, and you need to look at Amazon to see how many books are already written on the topic that you're potentially about to write on. So running those type of searches and doing some basic research is going to help you identify what the topic of your ebook should be. And I'll toss some tools on the page here that you can take a look at. The number one thing I would recommend is getting Longtail Pro, essentially a keyword research tool. And you can see what the type of interest level is based on the number of monthly searches in Google. So if let's say you write an ebook, or you want to write an ebook on how to write ebooks, you could put that in Longtail Pro, and it'll tell you how many people a month are searching on how to write ebooks. And from there, you can write an ebook catered to them. And the same thing, if it's being searched on Google, it's more than likely being searched on Amazon. That's my personal mantra here to go with. There isn't a tool that I've heard of that you can search on Amazon, the search traffic on Amazon. But if there is, someone please leave a comment below, and I'll happy to include an annotation on the top of this, letting you guys know about that tool. But for the moment being, Longtail Pro is probably one of the best tools to figuring out the volume of people looking at a specific topic or typing a certain keyword into Google. So once you've isolated your set of keywords that you want to talk about, or you found your topic, pretty much write the ebook. And then once you're done writing it, there's a few formatting steps, which you can actually watch another one of my videos, which I'll put on the screen here. You just have to format your ebook and then pretty much upload it to the Kindle Marketplace, and you're done. The beauty of it is once you upload to Kindle, you're essentially leveraging Amazon's customer base to get you customers. You don't have to do any marketing. You don't have to build a website. You don't have to learn these specific skill sets. You just have to write. And once you've uploaded one ebook, rinse and repeat. Find another topic, write another ebook, upload to Kindle. And obviously, there's a lot of information, or a lot of questions you guys might have about this, but overall, from a high level, this is the process. And how much do I make? What percentage does Amazon keep? All these questions are great questions, but to keep this video concise, I'm not really going to dive into that right now. But overall, this is, if you don't want to, I always recommend starting a blog first and foremost. But if you're not interested in that community building aspect that we discussed earlier, writing ebooks is a great way of making money. And once you scale it up, once you have 50, 60, 100 ebooks out there in the Kindle marketplace, even selling one a day for $2 adds up. So it's a very volume game. You need to upload a lot of ebooks before you see a significant income. But the beautiful part is that these customers are available. You don't have to do marketing. And essentially, it's just about the content. So let's take a look at it. Learning curve, low. Like I said, all you have to do is know how to write a decent book, a long essay. Profit potential, again, low in the grander scheme of things. Making 10K a month from ebooks is not very likely. You'll need a lot of ebooks, or you need some very popular ebooks. And that's not always the case. It's a kind of shotgun approach. Not all your ebooks are going to succeed. So having one or two that generate a large percentage of your profit is most likely going to be the case. From a time investment perspective, you're not going to be investing too much time. Again, it's just the writing. Cuts out the marketing, cuts out the design and the graphics and all this other work that comes with running a blog or some of these other methods that we're going to discuss down the road. And from capital investment, doesn't require much time. It's just the time to write. So at least it's a single focus, a single priority on what you need to be doing. And all it comes down to is rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then down the road, once you do have some income, you can actually outsource a lot of the writing so that all you're doing is more of managing a multiple writers and publishing these ebooks. So, in my opinion, writing ebooks is the perfect model for anyone that's kind of strapped for time, doesn't have too much money or time to invest in their business, but still wants to get started. If they can make $100 a month, that is pretty significant. Ebooks is great because writing 20 ebooks and getting, $2 a day from them or $3 a day from them can go a long way. So that's pretty much, if you're not looking to invest too much time, ebooks is a great way to get started. So the first method I want to discuss is starting a blog. And this is probably the most popular way of getting into the online money making, business starting type of entrepreneurship type thing. So starting a blog, there's a simple process to this. And I'm not going to dive into each individual thing, but I'm going to give you an overview of exactly what the process is and how you can eventually monetize all the work and the hours that you've put into building this business. So starting a blog is what it sounds like, just starting a website and posting blog posts on it. So the first step is going to be to build a website. You need a place on the internet that's branded and has your name, has an about me, a place where people can come to view your latest updates per se. So building that website is going to be the first step, and it's actually not as hard as you think. If you don't have much experience with website creation or website design, it's actually not that hard. There are specific tools that you can use that help optimize that process and make it way faster than what it used to be 10 years ago. And one of those is actually WordPress. So essentially what WordPress is it's a content management system, and it pretty much allows you to, it simplifies all the processes that it takes to, or the, methodology, whatever you want to call it. It pretty much optimizes all of that for updating your website. If you want to post a blog, there's a specific tab you can go to and post a blog. If you want to change your theme, if you want to add a plugin, if you want to, add an about me page, whatever it may be, there's some place in WordPress that you can click, shows you exactly what you need to do, and it gives you a very streamlined way of updating your website. And that's probably the number one thing I would recommend, is actually just trying WordPress out. Unless you do have experience, go out, build the website yourself if you already know how to do it. But for those of you that are just starting out, which is kind of who I'm trying to focus this video to, is just check out WordPress. And if the number one thing I would recommend, honestly, if you're just starting out, go to Bluehost, because you're also going to need a hosting provider that is going to manage all these files for you. They're essentially going to give you some space on one of their servers where you can upload files. They'll manage all of the traffic. Essentially make sure your website is up and running 24 hours a day. So if you're new to this, I would go to Bluehost, and I'll toss a link on the screen. Go to Bluehost, sign up for their WordPress hosting plan, and I believe it's about $4 a month. I'll see if I can get a discount link to put up on here. But essentially use Bluehost and install WordPress, and then find a free theme which costs you $0, so it's free. Upload that, and pretty much you're ready to start blogging at that point. There's some later things like SEO and optimization that you'll need to do later, but at that point you will be ready to start blogging. All right, so once your website's up and ready, you're going to be creating a lot of content. You're pretty much going to be writing, making videos, things like that to essentially get people to your website. You need to be telling them something. You need to be providing advice, providing experiences of your own that, they can learn from, things like that. So that's another thing to focus on with starting a blog. Then once you do have this content, it's going to be a cycle of promoting your content and essentially building a community of readers. Just like any magazine or any newspaper, you need a following, you need a readership that, is interested in what you're saying. So it's going to be a cycle. That's probably when you're starting a blog, and that's your primary method of making money online. It's going to be a lot of community building, talking to readers, leaving feedback, responding to questions, and at the same time going out there and getting links, commenting on other blogs, building networks. And then down the road, with this method, it's a long-term goal. Down the road, once you've established trust with your readers, then you can focus on monetization. And that's a completely different topic. But if you do want to go down this road, this is essentially the overall process of what you're going to be doing. All right, so let's get into kind of the nitty-gritties here. The learning curve, low. Like I said, Bluehost and WordPress, they essentially optimize the process, and you can get your blog or your website up and running within an hour. And at the same time, the profit potential is actually somewhat medium. There are blogs out there that are earning tens of thousands of dollars, 50, 60, whatever it may be. They're earning a lot of money, but it takes a lot of time, and it does require a lot of traffic to get to that level. So put profit potential as medium, because on average, you can easily get to 1 to 5K. Even 5 to 10K is pretty reasonable. Getting past 10K requires a significant amount of traffic and a significant amount of expertise. All right, so time investment, again, medium. If you are working a full-time job, I started Ready, Set, Go while I was working a full-time job, and kind of got the ball rolling during that phase. And now, it is my full-time income. But at the time, I was putting in maybe an hour or two every single night, and then, 4 or 5 hours on the weekends. And it is a grind. Don't get me wrong. It's all about putting in that time investment so you get the returns later. But I know everyone's situation is different. And if you don't have much time to invest, this is a medium level commitment. 5 to 10 hours a week is pretty much the minimum amount of time that you need to spend to create the content and do the SEO and get the word out. And that's why it's not for everybody. But if you do have 5 to 10 hours, this is probably the number one way that I would recommend for trying to earn money online. All right. So, and the capital investment, again, awesome, because it is super low. The hosting package through Bluehost is, not going to cost you over $5 a month. You can get a free theme, and pretty much everything else you're going to be doing yourself, like writing the blog posts and making a video, just as I'm doing right now. That's all your own time investment. So it's not going to be too much money that you're investing into other things. So less than $100, you can get started. And that's another reason starting a blog is super attractive. So kind of to recap this method, who's it best suited for? Blogging is essentially perfect for someone that isn't focused purely on the money, in my personal opinion. When I started Ready, Set, Go, it wasn't to make money. It was to have a place on the internet that I could document my ideas, share my thoughts on different stocks that I was buying, get some feedback on, my income strategies, on my budgeting, and just in general share what I was learning with other people. And it took almost 6 to 8 months before I even realized I could make money. And once I started doing that, I was able to make money. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have gotten to that point if I didn't believe in the fact that I was building a community and I was making connections and I was helping other people out with the post that I was making. So if you're in it solely for the money and you're in it solely to make get a good ROI on your time, I wouldn't recommend it because it's not a guaranteed, you're not guaranteed to make money with blogging. You don't know if people will purchase what you're recommending. You don't know if people will be even interested in what you're writing. So you can't go in it with a mindset of, okay, this is how much I put in, this is how much I need to get out, profitable ROI. That's not how you can look at it. You need to just go out and build something, that is truly beneficial to people out there. And then once you build trust and, you do have a following, that's when, there are methods of monetizing that traffic or those readers or those subscribers. So that is, I would say that's critical. Building a community needs to be your first ideal if you're going to start a blog. Okay, so let's get into something a little bit more complicated here. And method number 3 is going to be running paid search campaigns. So essentially, what we're doing with running paid search campaigns is going to be utilizing paid traffic or, running ads on Google, running ads on Facebook. We're going to be using ad campaigns to drive potential customers to a product, and then using the profit from the sale of that product to further optimize these campaigns and scale them up. So even though that sounded, I don't know if that sounded simple or complex, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of steps in between that do make it an extremely complicated business model. So I'm not going to go into every single one here. I actually started off working in paid search. I was optimizing Google Ads and managing different campaigns. So that's how I got a little bit of background on this. But from a high level perspective, the first thing you're going to want to do is find a product that you can promote. And then you're going to have to go out and learn PPC to kind of figure out whether this campaign is profitable or not. And if it's not profitable, you need to go find a different product. But if it is profitable, you kind of pretty much you just bump up the budget and scale it up. So you're essentially going from spending $5 a day on ads to spending $100. If you know that spending $5 on ads results in $15 of profit, you're making money. So instead of spending $5, you take that and spend $500 a day. And hopefully there's an equal, correlation with the growth and profit on the other end. So that's kind of from a high level perspective. And I don't want to dive too deep into this since it is something that requires a little bit of experience. But let's get into kind of the other page here. And, again, it's high across the board. The learning curve, it's high, but you can make a bunch of money off of this. And it does take a lot of time. You're going to have to sit in front of the computer and kind of monitor it from hour to hour and adjust bids on different keywords, spend time tinkering around with settings, checking out different networks to see, whether one is more profitable than the other. Even checking different networks, going from Google to Facebook, might be profitable on Facebook ads, it might not be profitable with AdWords. And again, it takes capital investment. You're going to be spending money on ads without a guaranteed return. You could spend $1,000 sending people to a product, and if 0 people buy anything, you're pretty much out $1,000. So you need to be willing to risk some money here to see what is working. But when one thing does end up working, you can scale that up and you can make pretty nice penny. So again, this business model is pretty much suited for analytical individuals that only care about profit and loss. You need to care about the numbers and you need to be very accounting focused on this, because at the end of the day, you're not building anything. You're not building a community. You're not building readership. You're not building an email list. There's nothing there that you're not building anything of value per se. You're pretty much building it for the moment. And if it's not profitable in that moment, you need to scrap it and move on to something else. So It's definitely about profit and loss, and PPC experience. I would definitely recommend learning a little bit about it to see if that's the route you want to go down. If you have ran ads in the past, this is a great model to get into. All right, so method number 4, buying websites. This is probably one of the coolest ways that I've ran across recently, and I actually just started getting into this. And I think the reason was because it does take a little bit of knowledge about, the internet and just in general how it works, affiliate marketing, ads, and all that, what's going on behind the curtains of the stage. But once you kind of know how to monetize a website, how to grow a website, SEO, social media, you can essentially jump right in and buy a website. There's a website called Flippa, and you can essentially purchase a website that obviously you need to go through your own checklist and vet the seller and vet the website to make sure that it's in line with what you're trying to purchase. But once you purchase the website, you'll already be generating some revenue. So you're just collecting monthly checks. And then if you do have that knowledge on how to improve or grow your site, you can increase that monthly revenue. And, you know, investing $1,000 to get a site that's making $20 a month, or maybe not 20, but usually it's around 20 to 25x of monthly revenue, the cost of the website. So, you're collecting these monthly rent checks and you're setting them aside. And then eventually you can use all that profit to purchase another website and kind of scale up your portfolio from there. And it's interesting because it's essentially, in my mind, it's very analogous to rental properties. People buy apartments, people buy houses, and they rent them out. So there's some cost involved with maintenance. If the dishwasher goes out, you need to improve on that. You need to get a new dishwasher in. You can, replace the carpet with hardwood flooring. There's a number of things you can do to improve the site, but the ultimate goal is collect that monthly revenue. And once you've paid off that website, you can essentially use everything you keep after paying off the website as profit. And from there, you can just keep on building until, if you had 10 rental properties or 2 houses that you're renting out, whatever that number may be, it's it's all about growing your assets. And in this way, we're viewing each website as an asset. And you want to grow that portfolio of assets. So down the road, you're just collecting monthly rent checks. So that's essentially from a high level what buying websites is kind of like. And getting into the nitty gritty here, learning curve high. You're spending a lot of money on these websites. There's sites that sell for 20, 30K. You might not be the first site you buy, but to invest 20K in anything, you want to know exactly what you're doing. So you do need some experience with managing a website and knowing what to look for to make sure that you're getting value out of your purchase. On the flip side, the profit potential is extremely high. If some of these 20, 30K sites, even a 5K site, if you find a website that's being undervalued, if you find a website where you know that you can easily triple the monetization just by implementing a new web design, it's there's a lot of potential there. If you find a website that is lacking in one or two things and you know that you can fix it fairly easily, you can take a website that is making $500 a month, go to $1,500 a month over the course of 1 or 2 months. So looking for things that are undervalued is key in this. You don't want to pay market. You don't want to overpay. You want to make sure you're getting a good deal on this. So, scouring Flippa, looking every single day. I'll toss up another great resource on the screen here. But scouring these marketplaces for potential opportunities is kind of the name of the game. And once you buy the website, though, the time investment is super low. You might have to spend 5 to 10 hours. If you buy an e-commerce site, you might have to process the orders through your dropshipper, or you might have to return some emails from customer complaints, whatever it may be. There's going to be a few hours a week that you're going to have to invest, but overall, it's going to be a lot less than building a website from the ground up. So, but then again, capital investment high, which is because you are purchasing something, you are purchasing a business, you're purchasing something that is already making revenue. The hardest grind aspect of it is already done. All right, so method number 5, create a product or course. Essentially what you're watching right now, this video, is a course. I am providing 5 different ways on how to make money online. You could say it's a course on 5 different ways to make money online. Even though I'm not charging for it and I am providing this information for free, other people create similar courses and do charge. If they might charge $5, they might charge 50, depending on the complexity of the material, how much time they've invested. Obviously the course or this video that I'm giving you guys right now is not the most complex thing. I'm giving you very high level overviews just to help you, point you guys in the right direction. Maybe down the road, I provide some downstream products, essentially, something that builds upon my first course. But at this moment, I'm just researching, or well, I've researched over the last couple of years, and now I created something that I'm sharing with you guys. And by promotion, I promoted through YouTube, I uploaded to my website, and this is kind of the hurdle. For anything when it comes to products and courses, you need people to see it. And that's the only way you make money, right? If someone knows that your course even exists. So promotion is key. And that's why this box is pretty damn big, because it's essentially, it needs to be your primary focus. You need to be able to have, the digital marketing skills to be able to create this product and then make sure people hear about it. And unless you're already famous online, it's hard to get people to, find out about you. So this is a pretty complex, the learning curve is high. You need to go from 0 to 60 with the product or with your course. You need to go from 0 to 60 real quick. And that's key, because if you're not able to start monetizing that course, you can't start investing into your second course or, additional, upsell courses or anything like that. The point from where you create the course to when you monetize it, you need a specific skill set to be able to do that. However, if you are able to do it, profit potential is super high. Courses, people pay a lot of money for courses, especially from one-on-ones, from from small groups, things like that. People are willing to, if you put a cap on the number of people that are able to purchase your course, that's actually a sales tactic. You can actually hire more if you only say, hey, the first 30 people get this. That's it. But I'm charging $2,000 a course. So, profit potential is there. However, time investment also really high. Creating something of value that, people are paying money for, especially that type of money, you need to create something of extreme value, and that requires you to also be an expert at what you're talking about. If you don't know anything about building websites, don't create a course on building websites, because you're going to be spending hours and hours researching, and the same people that have been spending hours and hours researching are going to buy this course and be like, hey, I already know this stuff. You need to give them tips and tricks. You need to give them things that you've learned on the way, experience, insights, things you've learned from your colleagues. Things like that is what people are paying for here. And again, from a capital investment perspective, it's actually not that high. I would say the number one thing that you can probably spend the most money on is actually just the ads and promotion. Running a campaign and driving people to this course is going to require a significant amount of money. And until you start selling the course and you're able to cycle those profits back into your ad campaigns, at the beginning, you will have to spend a pretty penny to get this course off the ground. So overall, who it's best suited for? It's pretty much perfect for individuals that are experts. If you feel like you're an expert at something, create a course. It could be free like mine. It could be paid. It doesn't matter. Create a course that you are giving out these expertise, these values, and then start free. Then up it to $5, up it to $15. Slowly improve. As you improve upon the course, increase that price point. So down the road, you're eventually at whatever price point that you feel comfortable with, and you're generating enough revenue to justify the amount of time that you're spending on this course. But again, like I said earlier, digital marketing and promotion skills are pretty much a necessity to making this work. There's so much information on the internet that if you're just hoping someone finds you, it's going to be pretty unlikely. All right, well, that's it, guys. That's my top 5 ways for making money online, and hopefully this was helpful. and beneficial and gives you guys kind of a launching off point from which you can do some research and decide what's best for you. And if you guys have any questions on anything I've discussed in this video, feel free to leave me a comment below. And if you did enjoy the video and found it helpful, really appreciate it if you could give it a like or subscribe to my channel. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.